Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Peace, love, and positivity to you. My name is Sohum, and today I'll be giving a first-time reaction to an indie folk band named the Mountain Goats. We'll be checking out 3 of their songs today to give us a well-rounded idea of what their sound is like. So we'll start with The Stench of the Unburied, then jump into Pale Green Things, and lastly, You or Your Memory. Pretty much outside of that, I have no other context for this band, so this is going to be a very fresh reaction for you all, which of course I hope you do enjoy. But before jumping into this one, we have to thank Wendy the Groovy for making this generous donation request and the unique selections today. As always, Wendy, it is much appreciated, and I love it when we get to react to new stuff on the channel, so thank you for that as well. But now, let's jump into it.
Incoherent but functional, speeding like a dead comet. Purple crushed velvet waistcoat.
Feels like we jumped right into it.
Maylocks and dried vomit. Say what you will for the effort. You can't fault the technique. Still conscious at sunrise. For the 3rd time this week.
Liking the bass in this. Very smooth.
Lights flash. I know we're going to crash.
The vocals are very indie too.
And outside it's 92 degrees.
Oh, that's nice. That is really warming.
Is playing Susie and the Banshees.
Yeah, pay close attention to this bass line.
Loud punked in the dashboard.
There's a lot of movement.
Cracks in the cylinder block. Heading up the Golden State Freeway toward Eagle Rock. Ice chest full of Corona.
Yeah, like if I had to define a genre here, I definitely feel like we're firmly in the realms of indie, maybe indie pop, but certainly indie. And I think the thing that gives that away for me is I always look towards the singer and what they're doing. And indie singers are often extremely melismatic in their vocal delivery. And if you look at even the pacing of any given line, it doesn't necessarily map onto a clean, on and off beat, like in a standard 4/4 song. This is a 4/4 song, don't get me wrong there, but the way that the lyrics are being delivered almost like spill into the next page. It's almost like in moments you'll have a run-on sentence, and then you'll also have a quickening in another place where it feels like the normal, let's say, pop singer sentence would have been resolved. It's a stylistic choice. It doesn't actually mean it's bad or good. It all works in the realm of music. But that's always been a giveaway for me to identify that indie sound. Also, more of a sidebar here because I was just talking about the vocals, but I love the bass in this. It is, again, so smooth, paired with that really punchy beat that has just been so consistent throughout. There's a lot of movement in this track, and it's really vibey.
Ice chest full of Corona and pineapple crush. It'll take 20 years for the toxins to flush. And when the sirens wail.
Wow, I like that.
I know we're going to jail.
I'm almost reminded of Counting Crows as I'm listening to this.
And outside it's 92 degrees. And KROQ is playing Susie and the Banshees.
And also I'm reminded of that band called Brand New.
Follow the flame.
maybe a bit of Incubus.
The flickering lights of Armageddon. Find the foot of the ladder way down in the pit.
Nice melody.
Keep climbing forever. Try to keep the torch lit. And outside it's 92 degrees.
Yeah.
And KROQ, the rock of the 80s, is playing Susie and the Banshees.
The vocals are so well couched in this mix. They feel perfectly cradled by the drums, by the synths, but it's all of these supporting sounds. Maybe like an indie alternative is a better descriptor for the genre. Going into this, I was expecting more folk. Yeah. Like put this on during a late night drive. Ooh. Nice. Great way to start this off. I feel like that was an extremely relaxing listen. At no point was I like overwhelmed by a lot of what we were hearing. And the reason I bring that up is more so in context of a lot of the music that I'll get requested on the channel, which, you know, takes so many various forms, different genres, but much of it can be extremely busy and complicated. And that serves its purpose all well and good there too. And getting a moment to sort of relax and soften in terms of all of the instrumentation, the structure of a song, it's nice. You know, it's a nice change of pace. And like I said, I feel like this fits perfectly well for a sort of late night drive, or you're just relaxing in a dimly lit room, like a lounge kind of area, and just there to experience the sights and the sounds of, you know, that lounge, I guess, in particular. One thing I also wanted to compliment that I didn't already mention is the actual vocal quality themselves, not only just the delivery of the lines, but the timbre of the voice. It was very smooth, very polished. I mean, you know, for one, I listen to a lot of metal music, so I hear a lot of harsh vocals, and I can tell, you know, when vocalists are reaching more for their vocal fry and trying to like access false chords and whatnot. This was precisely the opposite. These vocals are polished, they're clean, they're just meant to, I guess, serve as a vehicle for the melody and the lyrics in a simple, sweet kind of way. It just worked really, really well with all of the rest of the instrumentation. That's why it kind of felt to me like the vocals were almost like a nucleus to this larger cell of a song, all of which were congruent with one another. So yeah, nothing bad to say about that track, and great first start. Let's check out this next one here. We start out acoustic, which now my mind immediately goes folk.
Got up before dawn.
Oh. His voice
Went
is
down
right
to
in
the
my...
racetrack.
His voice is right in my brain. It's like he's almost whispering it to me.
Riding with the windows down.
Oh.
Shortly after your first heart attack.
It feels like he's like singing in my brain.
Parked behind the paddock.
Yeah.
Cracking asphalt underfoot.
coming up through the cracks, pale green things.
Ooh, that's
pale green
nice.
things.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, the strings, yeah. That's cool. Cool, man. And notice too how this acoustic guitar, it's not only string instrument, it's also serving a dual role of percussive. Whenever the strumming is happening through, like you can hear the downstrokes and he passes through all of those strings, there's an extra emphasis that's being added that gives each of those strummed chords a little bit of an extra weight. And cognitively, as I'm listening and I'm perceiving the sound, that's what's giving me the downbeats. And when it lightens up just a little bit, I kind of, as a guitarist, I kind of visualize that a bit as the upstroke. And then when the strings come in, that just sends me into overdrive. What a cool arrangement so far. Yeah. It's really nice.
You watch the horses run their workouts. You held your stopwatch in your left hand.
Literally, it's like a vivid picture I'm imagining. I can see it all.
And a racing form beneath your arm, casting your gaze way out to no man's land. Sometimes I'll meet you out there.
Oh, now the strings are just
lonely and frightened.
They're making their presence really known.
Flicking my tongue out at the wet leaves. Pale green things, pale green things.
Yeah, dude, I love this one. I love how intimate this all feels. That was the word I was looking for.
My sister called at 3 a.m. just last December. Told me how you died at last.
At last.
And that morning at the racetrack was one thing I remembered. I turned it over in my mind like a living Chinese finger trap. Seaweed in Indiana, sawgrass, pale green things. Pale green thing.
Oh, it just lives in your heart, this song. Dude, that was so beautiful. I need to look up the meaning of this song because in terms of lyrics, everything that was being painted was a very vivid picture in my mind, but I almost feel like there's got to be something more to this that I'm not quite understanding because it feels so poetic. Like maybe I'm missing some external context or some subtle symbolism. Let me quickly do a little Google-roo. Okay, according to Google AI Overview, pale green things symbolizes a difficult, complex mixture of hope, resilience, and relief that comes with the death of an abuser. A central theme of the song and the album The Sunset Tree, the pale green things are a metaphor for small, struggling life pushing through hardship, like a fragile plant breaking through asphalt. The title also alludes to a biblical reference, as the fourth horseman of the apocalypse in Revelation is described as riding a pale green horse. And I think the four horsemen, green represents death. I always thought green represented famine, but I believe it's green for death. Wow. I mean, that all logically tracks. That makes sense. That is not at all what I was expecting to come of it, but even given the vivid descriptions of all of the little green things being described, it's like a kindling of hope, trying to make one's own life after having been stifled for so long at the hands of another. Man, and so many people in our world suffer this very way and continue to suffer at the hands of their abusers, and without even realizing it in a lot of cases. And you could even take it a step further and think a lot of people, without realizing it, are psychologically, even unbeknownst to them, abusing themselves, treating themselves poorly, and creating their own artificial asphalt, preventing their own growth. And if I word it that way, it feels a little bit more like victim blaming, which is not at all the intention, but just to illustrate the idea that a lot of us are stifled for one reason or another. And when it's at the hand of another person who, especially if they're in a position of authority over you, or let's say meant as somebody who's there to care for you, that is especially damaging for the soul. How can you recover from something like that? You have to unlearn so many negative cycles of trauma and abuse. Things that you thought were okay weren't actually okay, and now you're having to reconcile a new world with different rules with the old world that was extremely punitive to you. From my own personal experience, I was in a rather toxic relationship, and after coming out of it, there were so many things that I could finally see more clearly that I was sort of turning a blind eye to, and a lot of it was my failure in not being able to stand up for myself and recognize that I was assisting the creation of that, let's say, asphalt over my green kindling growing. It's a weird thing. There's a lot to unpack there. I'm sure I didn't do it all justice. I'm really glad I looked up the meaning of this track here. My God, that is so deep. Oof. And a beautiful song from a musical standpoint. I love that it starts so simply with the acoustic guitar again, that also serves as a percussive instrument, then paired with the indie style singing, and then the strings over the top of it all. Just packed to the brim with heavy emotion. I'm enjoying the Mountain Goats, let me tell you. Let's check out the last song of the day, You or Your Money.
I ducked into a bargain class room on our ceiling. Gazed out through the curtains at the parking lot. Ducked down to the corner store just before a knife in my bare feet. Black tarry asphalt, soft and hard. And when I came back, I spread out my supplies on the counter by the sink. Looked myself right in the eye. Bottles and chains, and you, or your man. I hid myself behind the drapes when I saw the moon begin to rise. Well, I gathered in my loose ends and I switched off the light.
Dude, this one, if I'm getting these lyrics right, I won't take a stab at interpreting right now. I'll do it at the end. But if I'm getting these lyrics right, this is potentially even darker than what we just heard with Pale Green Things. Oh my God, there's so much despair in this track. And I wouldn't believe
I
it.
hid myself behind the drapes when I saw the moon begin to rise.
Because the energy is so
Well, I gathered in my
bright.
loose ends and I switched off the light. Down there in the dark, I could see the hard truth about me, as clear as day. Lord, if I make it through tonight, well, I will mend my ways. I will walk the straight path to the end of my days. St. Joseph's baby has been bottles and chains. Yes, and you are your memory.
It's beautiful. This is beautiful. Oh.
Thank you.
That was
Thank you.
wow, what a song. I mean, it was a short and sweet song, but I also hesitate to say sweet because if I'm interpreting the lyrics right, it seems like the narrator here is in two minds, one of which is self-deletion, the other is living a life of complete sorrow and despair, is what it seems. You know, that line, if I make it through the night, then I will do all of these things to keep me on the straight and narrow and just follow the path if I make it through the night. And then I'm envisioning the scene right in the bathroom, in that like kind of like hotel room. I've seen like so many different scenes in like TV shows, in movies, and just media in general of people contemplating their life in such an environment. It's very impersonal, actually. It's not even one's home, where one is forced to confront the difficulties of present reality and also the pain of one's past. Oh, and it just feels like damned if you do, damned if you don't. Oh, and that's such a hard place to be mentally, because it feels like anything you do, there is no winning. It's just lose, lose, lose. You know, that's why on this channel I love to preach peace, love, and positivity, just for yourself and for everybody, because you never know what struggles others are going through. And if we can just be a little bit kinder to ourselves and those who we interact with, who we love and are around us on a day-to-day, that can be the difference maker. Just make people's lives a little bit easier. It's hard to do, even for ourselves, but it is quite necessary. And it takes oftentimes a lot of these revelations for me, in terms of connecting with my own humanity and wanting to be better for the world, comes through art and music like this, where it's deliberately being sung about. These emotions came from a very real place and are being brought about extremely in an extremely vulnerable way. And once it's there, you can't unsee it. You can't unknow that thing. Maybe you can try to avoid it, but that information now is presented to you. Those emotions are out there. And in a weird sense, it also forces us to confront ourselves, our own fears, our own anxieties, our own pain, the things that we can relate to in these tracks. This is a really interesting reaction today. The Mountain Goats definitely have this extremely intimate and personal touch in their songwriting, in the delivery of the lyrics, in just the composition in general. It is very, very, I want to find the right word. it's very honest. And when one can embrace that level of vulnerability in their pain, then it can actually serve as a tool for healing, and we can reach a place of catharsis. That's how I have viewed music in a lot of different senses. Music as a teacher, music as a friend, as a lover, as a healer. Oh man, and we as a society, we as a world need a lot of healing. Yeah, don't let me get too lost in my diatribes here. All of that to say, I'm really, really impressed by what I heard today from the Mountain Goats. Very emotional songs that speak directly to the human struggle in one way or another. I was not expecting that, to be honest. But I'm happy. I'm happy we had this experience together. Let me know what your thoughts are on the Mountain Goats, or the songs I reacted to today, or my reaction in general, or as a fourth option, leave just a comment for the YouTube algorithm. It would help me out tremendously. You know what else would help me out tremendously is if you would like to make a reaction request yourself. You can do so by clicking the first link in the description box below. But as always, my friends, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care and peace.